Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Pro Evolution Soccer 2020 video with your host SpoonyPizzas. Today we're looking at the feedback that you guys have given me. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who fed back to me on Twitter and YouTube. It took a little while going through the data and putting it into the table that you can see in front of you. But it was, I think it's going to be worth it. And what we're going to be doing is looking at this table here and also comparing it to the response and feedback from Konami to see if it matches up with what they're receiving on Facebook. And also, I don't have Facebook. If you want to share this video with them, then feel free to go ahead. Okay, so top of the list is responsiveness. Now, a lot of people are moaning about the loose balls and the player reaction time. So players not reacting to loose balls in and around them. So what you'll find is the ball is played to a player maybe it takes deflection, and the ball literally rolls past your player and he just doesn't react. Also, people find that the general responsiveness of the game isn't good enough. So the input from the controller, people are finding that you put an action into the controller, and by the time it happens on the screen, there's like a delay as such. It's not as smooth or as fluid as perhaps PES 2019, and even more so against PES 2018. I think people want to see that sort of fluidity back again. The next two were level on points. Tackling, just being far too easy. Just players being able to hold X and circle and win the ball back. And that kind of ties in with number 3 as well. So that obviously makes the dribbling harder, because if someone's holding X or circle, it's very, very difficult to get around a player doing that. I noticed that on the 11 against 11. You perform skills and all the other person's got to do is hold X. It's like, yeah, I've won the ball off you. So yeah, the tackling is far too easy, and a lot of people saying that refs are giving no fouls. So you can literally tackle from any angle just by holding X. You can tackle from behind, you can tackle from the side. Or your player might just grab a hold of him, and then you get another player in to take the ball off him while he's being engaged in that sort of physical battle. And dribbling in general, yeah, again, it sort of ties in with point number 1 with the responsiveness. People say it's not responsive enough, unable to sort of use skills on superstar difficulty and above. They find that the AI just read every single skill, and I've definitely felt that myself. I just don't tend to bother using skills at all. Rendering the finesse dribbling useless as well. People complaining about the responsiveness of the finesse dribbling. And it's sad really, because finesse dribbling was like one of the key selling points for this year's PES. Okay, it's very much like close control, but if it's going to be so unresponsive and not going to be effective in any way whatsoever, it's just pointless. It's just it's a feature they've introduced that's been rendered as pointless by the defensive AI, and if you're playing online, then people just holding X and circle. Next is cursor change. Now, a lot of people have been finding it very difficult to player switch, and I think this sort of ties in with point number 1 about the responsiveness, where I said the ball just rolls past the player and you're smashing the player select button, and you'll find that your secondary cursor is above a player miles away from the ball. It's really bizarre. So the next one is AI. So this is general speaking, offensively and defensively, also including your own players. So what you would find is on the offensive, players wouldn't make runs or attacking runs for you to sort of try and feed them the ball. And defensively, you'd find that when players were using the through ball, it would just literally roll past your defender, or they would switch off, or they wouldn't react to what's going on around them. The awareness just wasn't there. That was the sort of main complaint. The main focus was about the defensive AI generally, but just the AI doing stupid things at silly times. Last on the list was physicality. Now, I included this in the chart because this could tie in with number 2 as well, around the tackling being too easy. I think that's what people were getting at, that you could just hold X and just literally rhino charge from any angle and win the ball back. So yeah, that was the feedback from everyone in the community. So thank you everyone for that. And now we're going to take a look at the sort of response from the dev team at Konami. So they're looking to introduce some changes by the end of October. And number 1 on the list was better player reaction to loose balls, which funny enough is number 1 on my list. We'll be improving how players react to loose balls, ensuring that they will do their best to try and gain possession. This will ensure an exciting gameplay for 1 vs 1 duels in the sidelines, or the battle for the ball in the penalty box. Now it's interesting for the duels for one, or they talk about the 1 vs 1 duels. Hopefully that's going to be including the dribbling, because they don't mention the dribbling on here. Number 2 is better positioning of the defensive line and midfield line. Some people pointed out there was a gap between defense and midfield line, which allowed killer passes to reach the forward attackers with ease. We noticed that this resulted in a fast-paced game, since it was possible for the ball to reach the front lines with only a few passes. With the fix, it will become harder for the ball to reach the attackers, so constructing the play will be more important during the matches. As a result, the pace of the game will come closer to reality. Now, you probably noticed that most of my formations came with like just defensive midfielders. I never played a central midfielder, and that was because of the gap. And that even was actually in the demo as well. So the gap between midfield and defence was a bit of an issue. They say that, you know, this is just the beginning of a long journey, and please continue to give us more feedback. They then followed that up with another post. I think it was yesterday, that they've said they fixed the issue where Super Council would sometimes fail to work, mainly online, that is, because Super Council seems to work fine offline. They just said that thanks to many of you that reported Super Council bug to us, we're able to find the problem and fix it. So that should work properly by the end of October. They've also fixed the strips. So they've listed a number of clubs there: Celtic, Genoa, Napoli, Udinese and Fortaleza. In their last post, they just provide a few tips when you are submitting your feedback to them on Facebook, so be sure to take note of that. Anyway, that's all from me, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed the video. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who provided the community feedback, and it's interesting to sort of compare the results between the dev team from Konami and the results that you fed back to me, so that was really interesting. Thanks everyone for that, and I'll catch you again in my next video. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye.